So ever since the release of the Intergalactic The Heretic Prophet trailer, every gamer and their mother has absolutely clowned on the game, the trailer, its very existence, and justifiably so. Why is that? Well, because it's a Naughty Dog game, and considering The Last of Us 2, yeah, most gamers aren't exactly fans of where Naughty Dog as a company and their narratives have been going, whether it be because they are practically playable movies or because they are full of a bunch of propaganda agenda bogus. But now it looks like the lead actress of the game has been forced through a sort of social media boot camp by Neil Cuckman himself. So welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Land Idol, and yeah, if you haven't heard, the actress, she's got a lot to say about the game, about gamers, and her more esoteric woo-woo sort of thought processes she has about her role in the game and what it means for the gaming zeitgeist. So we're going to get into this. Before we do, hit that subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news nearly every day, and we're pointing to an article from Eurogamer today, an article so aptly titled, "The Last of Us Part 2 Online Backlash Prompted Naughty Dog's Next Star to Get Boot Camping from Neil Druckmann. I got a lot of love, but there was a lot of hate." Alright, first of all, you didn't need any sort of boot camping. If you don't know how the internet works in 2025, that's on you. Whether your game is good, whether it's bad, whether your performance is good or bad, there's going to be a subsect of the internet that's gonna roast you. That's just how the internet works and has worked since the mid-90s. Even the most critically acclaimed thing of all time is gonna get clowned on in some form or another. It does not matter how much people love Heath Ledger and The Dark Knight Rises, there are gonna be folks out there that want to talk about how trash the movie is and how Ledger is an overrated actor. You're not special. You didn't need this boot camp. But even so, the article just outright in the title says the star of the game. And sure, I guess maybe that's technically correct. But don't you think they're maybe using the term star liberally? Nobody used to really care who starred in Super Mario 64, or who starred in Sonic Adventure, or who starred in the Resident Evil games, because we're here for the character, not the person behind them. So yes, as an actress, you may star in this game, but nobody cares about you. The problems they have are with the character, who, let's be real, from the initial launch trailer, looks like a stuck-up girl boss bitch. Now, maybe that's not who you are in real life. I don't know. I can't judge because I don't know who you are as a person. But you opted to take the role that immediately out the gate has gamers on edge because of how the character is portrayed in the trailer. Sorry, I don't know what to say. You chose to take this role, you're going to have to deal with the backlash that comes with it. As for there being a lot of love and a lot of hate, once again, welcome to the internet, sweetheart. The star of Naughty Dog's next game has said she's received preparation for the role, and specifically the online reaction to it, from studio boss Neil Druckmann following the online abuse previously kicked up around The Last of Us 2. You know, let's talk about that online abuse, because last I checked, there's an ongoing series right now, The Last of Us, the series, Season 2, which is, of course, adapting Part 2 of the games. Now, gamers had themselves a bit of a tizzy when Joel died in the game in such an unceremonious, frankly disrespectful fashion. If it was just gamers who were the problem, then why did normies react the exact same way? Because more recently, in the realm of the television show, episode 2 specifically, they do go ahead and follow the game canon and kill off Joel. And what happened? Normies freaked out. They loathed it, they threw fits online, and now the viewership is down. In fact, the viewership is down quite a bit. Maybe, just maybe, this backlash that The Last of Us 2 received wasn't because of online angry white right-wing incel gamers, but because people who loved the first game, which is genuinely considered to be a masterpiece, spat in their face, and now the normal, average, everyday television-going audiences are seeing and feeling the exact same thing. In preparation, Gabrielle said she had been given mental boot camping by Druckmann as she becomes the face of the game. You are not the face of the game. I don't know how to say this any better. For those of us that are gamers, we actually don't care too terribly much who the stars of said games are. When I play the remakes of the Resident Evil games, I'm gonna be real, I actually wish that they didn't use full mocap and face architecture, for lack of a better word, for these characters. They're too realistic. It actually takes me out of this fantasy world. It's a weird, uncanny valley sort of thing. But even games that have real-life people as stars, say Keanu Reeves in Cyberpunk 2077, they're not the reason most people are buying the game. You might have your one-off random Keanu Reeves fan here who does buy Cyberpunk, but in general, People are playing the game for the game, the mechanics, the story. If there's real life famous actors in there, okay, sure, maybe that's a boon, or maybe it actually is harmful. Like, when I played Fallout 3 for the first time, I didn't know Liam Neeson was in it. Now, him being in it didn't really ruin the experience for me, because he's not in it a whole lot. But when I heard it, I was like, the fuck? Is that Liam Neeson? And it was, and I was surprised, big name actor Liam Neeson was in a fucking Fallout game. But, like, beyond that, no. I mean, yeah, you might be the face in terms of your face has been scanned because you are the character in the game. But people aren't going to hate you, or at least the vast majority of normal people aren't going to hate you. They're going to hate the game, they're going to hate the company, they're going to hate the character, and most importantly, they're going to hate Neil Cuckman. You might get some hate in your X or Instagram DMs or whatever it may be, but once again, like I said earlier, fucking welcome to the internet. I get that shit for the videos I make, and I'm an absolute nobody. I mean, I do a video that makes 5,000 views, and then I'll get DMs that say, I hope you know, as an incel, you do deserve to kill yourself. Alright, I mean, if that's the way it truly feels, sure. But guess what I do? I delete the message and move on. Actually, oftentimes, I'll screen cap the message, post it on X, laughing my ass off about it, then I'll move on, because I'm an adult. I don't need no sort of mental boot camping to make goddamn YouTube videos, just like you don't to star in a video game. Should just be another fucking day in the office. Neil's boot camping me. I know Troy Baker's experience. I know Ashley Johnson's experience, Gabrielle told EW. I know Laura Bailey's experience, Gabrielle continued, referring to the backlash Bailey received for her turn as The Last of Us Part 2's Abby. And guess what? Abby was a hated character. But here's the dealio. Laura Bailey, Troy Baker, she listed another name, but it's not a name I'm particularly familiar with. But when it comes to Troy Baker and Laura Bailey, they are two of the biggest names in the voice acting industry. Not just video games, but anime as well. When you hear the names Troy Baker, Laura Bailey, you can probably think of a myriad of characters they played. And I can almost guarantee you, no one from The Last of Us Part 2 is coming to mind. Why? Because they've cemented themselves in stone as true vanguards and even potentially on the Mount Rushmore of modern voice acting in the nerdy subcultures. Yeah, I'm sure they got some fucking backlash. But, I mean, do I need to keep reiterating that that's the way the internet works? I guarantee you Troy Baker's skin is thick enough. He ain't had to go through no mental boot camping for how people are going to respond to him in a video game. I bet he ain't even going to remember this role 10 years from now. The dude does so many voice acting roles. Same for Laura Bailey. I mean, go to Laura Bailey's, behind the voice actor page or whatnot. I bet she's done hundreds and hundreds of roles. Sure, she's going to get some negativity for, The Last of Us Part 2 appearance. Is that fair? No, she is just the actress. That doesn't mean she agrees with the game or the story or even played it or is a fan. But by the same token, to label all gamers or say that, it should take such a mental toll on you, yeah, that's the way the internet works. I'm sorry if you're too weak to not be able to set that aside or, maybe, I don't want to say someone should deactivate their social media accounts because, social media accounts for these types of individuals are their bread and butter. They get the likes, they get the follows, they post their thoughts. It actually could help them get other jobs in the industry. People say, this voice actor is actually very beloved by fans. Let's put them in the game. But then at some point, they gotta not blame the people upset with the game, but maybe blame Neil Druckmann or Naughty Dog or whoever wrote such a terrible game that turned the vast majority of the internet against their, honestly, fair enough performances. Prior to The Last of Us Part 2's release, Abby's role as the character that kills Joel was leaked, sparking a wave of online abuse and death threats aimed at Bailey and her son. Every time I went online, that's all I saw. Bailey revealed previously as part of the game's behind-the-scenes documentary Grounded 2, Making The Last of Us Part 2, which was released in February last year, death threats and threats of violence. I'm gonna be real. You gotta know on some level that the internet isn't real. Like, the way people talk online isn't the way we converse face to face. I truly do not care. I don't even give a fuck how bad this sounds. I don't care how many death threats you got in your DMs. Because the internet is not real. Now, someone shows up at your door and they're brandishing themselves a nice new shiny Beretta and they say, because of your role in The Last of Us Part 2, you deserve this. Okay. We can have a conversation there. That was some loon who doesn't know how to separate fiction from reality. People like that need to be put in a padded room. But that being said, that is not 99.9 repeating percentage of the individuals out there. Yeah, you're gonna have some scummy motherfuckers that send you hateful shit. Oh well, I take the Henry Cavill approach. They're passionate. The vast majority of fans are passionate. Yes, some folks can take it to a toxic level, but I mean, I'll be real, I've been a Laura Bailey fan for years, and I don't really recall her making the big spectacle of this when it happened in 2019. We're 6 years out from The Last of Us 2. Yet, if she's saying this stuff in a documentary that came out last year, I mean, sure, I don't know the context of it. I haven't seen the documentary. Time is valuable, and I'm not going to waste my sweet, precious time watching a documentary about a shitty game that, frankly, the vast majority of people don't like to begin with. Laura Bailey's a good actress. She's gone on to still have one hell of a career 6 years later, being in a myriad of other projects. I really don't think this is that big a damn deal. Gabrielle revealed that, like Bailey, she too has been the subject of backlash since it's announced that she would star in Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet. Already, she's had misogynistic and racist comments sent her way. I got a lot of love, but there's a lot of hate over me being a woman of color, me having my head shaved, all these things that I didn't even actually initially see, Gabrielle said. I'm on the social media zeitgeist for that reason, but once I did, Neil Druckmann was like, ignore it. No matter what, me, you, we're gonna make something beautiful. We're gonna make something that we're proud of. Alright, we gotta stop this nonsense now. Nobody was getting on you for being a woman of color. Why? Because so many of the people that use terms like woman of color don't exactly ingratiate Asians into that, little hierarchy you guys have. Asians are white adjacent. Oh, every liberal white person out there that throws a fit about how just awful life is for the blacks and the Latinos conveniently seem to leave out Asians. There's a reason hashtag Stop Asian Hate's a thing, and the vast majority of the Asian hate comes from black people. Like, no one was getting on you for being a woman of color. We pretty much all have the understanding that Asians are kind of grandfathered in with us whites. There's such a thing as Asian privilege, white privilege. I mean, when Asians have to start having higher SAT scores than any other race to get into colleges, while black kids get to have the lowest SAT scores to get into the same college, let's be real, people aren't looking at you as a woman of color. So we can go ahead and just shut that the fuck down right now. In terms of you having like, oh, your shaved head, well, yeah, I'm gonna be real, that's a red fucking flag. Say what you want. Look, should women be able to wear the hair the way they want? Yeah, whatever. Humans can do whatever they want. Fucking freedom of choice. But that being said, when we see a bunch of girl boss bitches in the media that are hated by fans, moviegoers, video gamers, whatever, the world over, that all seem to have that same shaved haircut, it just adds an extra layer of something notifiable, something noticeable about the archetype. Well, again, you may have done this yourself. I don't know if you shaved your head for the role, but if you did shave your head for the role, seems like something you should be upsetting spaghetti to Neil Cuckman about, because he just made you that much more hateable due to the recent history of all these dumbass girl boss bitches that have said shaved head. Yeah, I mean, you say that Neil tells you that we're gonna make something beautiful, something to be proud of. Sure, whatever, be proud of this. If the game comes out, when it inevitably flops. I was gonna say if it inevitably flops, but no. When it inevitably flops, I still hope you're proud of it. Maybe you think your acting job was good. Maybe you think the story was well written. But I can good goddamn well guarantee you, the paying customer, the people that this is actually for, aren't going to believe it, aren't going to buy into it. I mean, this is a nothing burger of a game. People hated Last of Us 2. People hated Starfield. Starfield ain't even the same company, but it's the same sentiment. Gamers didn't care. Gamers are putting their money and their time and their effort into things they actually love, actually care about. A lot of the times nowadays, that's the indie scene. There's a reason that Schedule 1 got over 500,000 players, maybe even hit 1 million, I'm not even sure, but at least 500,000 players, and you've got something like South of Midnight that got 6,000. Let's be real, you ain't no goddamn Schedule 1, which is hilarious because I bet dollars to donuts this cost 100 times the money to produce the Schedule 1 did, and it's not going to get any of the same return on investment. The actress also spoke more about the upcoming game's theme of faith. The question of faith is not black and white, Gabrielle elaborated. When you initially think of faith, you think of religion, which is a part of it, but there's also faith in oneself. There's a faith in your environment, in your community. All that faith means is, what are your beliefs? I love how after religion, she immediately went to faith in oneself, because that's why we don't like you people. How do you not understand that? The fact that you make everything about you, you try and make everything personal, you're narcissistic in that regard. Yes, faith colloquially has two different meanings. You've got faith in terms of religion, a higher power, whatever it may be, or there's like, I got faith things will work out. There's just the generalization of faith as the textbook definition of faith. So when you say the first thing that comes to people's minds is religion, okay, fair enough. But your game is called Intergalactic Heretic Prophet. Heretic and prophet are both religious terminologies. So if you want to get upsetty spaghetti that people immediately jump to religion when they think of faith, of the 3 words in your game's title, 2 of them are directly respondent to religion. That's 66.7% of your title having to do with religion. It kind of makes sense to me that people would take faith and immediately jump to the religious conclusion, because your game's own title already did it. You've got these flowery terminologies like, oh, initially think of religion, but what about faith in oneself, faith in the environment, faith in the community, oh, what are your beliefs? All that flowery word salad means nothing aside from, I want to sound like a pseudo-intellectual in some sort of interviews for some sort of clout so that my game sells. But that sort of shit doesn't sell to gamers. What you should be saying is, man, I really like working on this game. It's a banger game. I really hope gamers the world over love it, because video games are the tits. By the way, what's y'all's favorite console? I'm a PC Master Race kind of gal myself. That's what Henry Cavill did, and you know how the world just loves him. There isn't much more to say on this. The damage control for this upcoming game is already in the process of being done, and that should tell you everything you need to know. Nobody's excited for this. It's not going to sell. Gamers are actively rejecting it. And Neil Cuckman and the individuals at Naughty Dog know that's the case, not just based off The Last of Us Part 2's performance as a game, but because of how the general audiences have been perceiving The Last of Us Season 2. They need to run the damage control now. They need to start putting out the articles. They need to start weaponizing the media, everybody that's under them, to take their side and run defense. Why? So they can make you or the average individual outside of the gamer, those on the peripheral, who read about gamers or read about gaming when they're opening up a Forbes article that was conveniently written by Paul Tassi, saying, oh wow, what's going on with this right-wing problem and certain subcultures of media? Like, that's really what it boils down to. If this game was going to be the success they want it to be, this article from Eurogamer wouldn't even exist. I mean, let's not even talk about the fact this actress recently showed up in an episode of The Last of Us Part 2 and was roasted for it. Who roasted her? Fucking gamers, because gamers didn't want The Last of Us Part 2, at least not in the incarnation they got, and now they doubly don't want this game. Look, I'm sorry, girly, you're gonna get some backlash, and you're gonna have to take it, because you brought this on yourself the moment you accepted the role. I'm not gonna be playing the game, I'm not gonna be buying it. I just find it hilarious that you need to go through some sort of mental boot camp to deal with online harassment, because you can't be a big enough fucking adult to realize the internet ain't real life to begin with. But these are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X. You can find me at Bolt the Word, and please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news nearly every day. Not always on the video game space, but anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check me out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon, and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose the articles we go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos we react to on the Friday night live streams, and of course, get involved with over 190 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to grow even further, because we do care about diversity. Only one kind of diversity. Diversity of thought. If that's interesting to you, join the Discord and subscribe. Until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.